Town politics, Peter, you're going to wade in.
Yes, indeed. Whilst Cape Town Mayor insists that she's in the right position to serve the city, the DA has launched a formal investigation into her alleged misconduct. However, DA leader Mmusi Maimane says that the removal of the Cape Town Mayor will not affect the party's performance in 2009's elections. For more on this, we're now joined by political analyst Dr. Piet Croucamp. Thanks very much for joining us and welcome.
Thank you very much, and I think she makes a big mistake by saying that of the party. Well, they think naively that it won't have any influence.
Well, that is what I wanted to ask you first of all, because there seems to be, just as the ANC has put their man forward, he said the right things at the weekend, at the same time, the DA seems to be in waves of infighting.
Look, two things. The one thing is the ANC also thought that it won't have any influence if there's infighting in the party, and they paid the price in the August 2016 election. So the DA will pay the price. Don't take the coloured vote in the Western Cape for granted. They've been with the ANC, they moved to the DA, they can go anywhere, they vote with their feet. If you, in some other way, leave the impression with them that the party or the province is badly managed, they might just move, especially with Ramaphosa now, which seems to give the impression that he will want to govern the ANC much better. So now it becomes a real competition, a real contestation. But if they, for instance, work out the lull and see revitalize and revamp in some other way the whole part of the Independent Democrats, they may just become a sizable party, and coalition politics come back into the game. It might be a lot more competitive than they expect.
So are you suggesting that the coloured vote in the Western Cape in large part may have followed Patricia de Lille as one of their own?
Well, I think they followed the DA earlier with the disappointment with the ANC. That started it, and then with Patricia de Lille, I think she's a very strong political leader. She's got the necessary political gravitas. I think she's consolidated the coloured vote. But if they kick out, it's interesting that DA, they seem to have a problem with women. It's Helen Zille, it's de Lille, it's Landiwe Masibuku. It seems like these liberals just don't manage to get their gender issues within the party in some other way well organized.
All right, look, we'll pick up the political side of it again just now, but there are charges on the table.
But
there are accusations on the table.
Why is it? It's as difficult to find out exactly what they have against her as it is to find out what exactly we have on Marcus Jooste. It seems like nobody knows, nobody says. There's the Gilfillan report. It should be out in the open now. We should know exactly what she's accused of, but we still don't seem to know. It is as if the DA also don't know what strategy they should apply to deal with the matter. And that all these uncertainties, I think, is a bad reflection on the DA.
So they seem to be backtracking a little bit by saying that we're not going to remove you as mayor, but we're going to take away your water powers. Does that suggest that their hand isn't as strong as they thought going in?
Yeah, I think it also created, initially the impression was created that she was corrupt. Now it seems the impression is created that she may have in some other way protected people who are corrupt, which is quite different. And now they're accused of not fulfilling her responsibilities and obligations. So yes, they are backtracking, but it's because it's not out in the open. They should say exactly what they accuse her of, what she has done, what the report has said from the legal company, and should we all know what's going on. In the name of transparency and openness, we should all know by now what exactly is happening there, but we don't.
What's the significance of taking water away from her?
That's interesting. I think that's one of the things that they will accuse her quietly of badly managing. They think that this may cost them dearly. If Cape Town runs out of water, and if the greater Cape Peninsula runs out of water, I can tell you it will have consequences with the election. It will certainly have consequences. And I think this is, in some other way, they accuse her of managing this thing badly. You'll remember the whole thing about the desalination plants. Now suddenly we know that desalination plants won't solve the problem. Now they go for aquifers. We know that will not solve the problem. And we know that by March, the Cape will be without water and will have political consequences.
If she's done nothing wrong, as she claims, and she wins in court, what does that mean for the DA in the Western Cape?
Look, I think she's not going to win in court. I think a lot of politicians are guilty of protecting people who are doing the wrong things. And I think that's more or less where the focus area will be. But if she is found guilty, the relationship of trust, it's not possible for the DA to continue with her at all. So eventually she will have to go. It's just who's going to blink first and what will be the conditions under which she will go.
All right. And finally, here in Johannesburg, we've just seen the Finance MEC suspended. This is the second MEC member suspended in less than 6 months, I think.
Yeah.
What is this saying about the party and their appointees?
Well, the DA say we're cleaning up. The ANC says you can't hold on to your gains, you can't hold on to your policies, and you're losing people that you should be trusting with big budgets and management. You're not doing better than the ANC did in Gauteng. So I think the DA is an unstable party, and if Julius Malema does what he threatens this week, to just as a matter of, just to prove a point, withdraw their allegiance to the DA in some of these councils, the DA is in for a real unstable political time.
All right, Dr. Piet Croucamp, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you very, very much indeed for your insights. I know it was brief, but thanks for sharing your time with us. Francis?